My name is Carole Richard, and I worked at Community Hospice from the years 2000 through 2010. I was our first director of development. I became involved with Community Hospice after being recruited and meeting with Harold Peterson. I went for an interview. I was working at the time for the Yosemite Community College District, and I heard about this exciting capital campaign that was underway for Community Hospice and the new hospice house at that time. So I interviewed, and I was fortunate to be hired for the position, and that was the start of a almost just about 10-year tenure with the organization. I was very excited when I first came to Community Hospice. We were at a different location then at 601 McHenry, and they didn't have room at the inn for me, so I was relocated at some other office space that they rented for the development staff, which consisted of one other staff person and myself. And we began our work planning for the capital campaign for the Alexander Cohen Hospice House. It was very exciting. Those were exciting times. We had to launch into the campaign by selecting a campaign cabinet, finding the leadership for the campaign, and we were very fortunate that John Franzia offered to be our leader for the campaign, and we had wonderful support, of course, from the Rogers family, who offered to match the gift that we would raise. And so that began a wonderful history of all the wonderful people we worked with who took on leadership roles, and the roles of the volunteer board members who also went out and did a lot of work, and then community members at the end of the campaign that did a phenomenal job to help close the gap and reach our goal. Well, I continue to support Community Hospice because I do believe in the mission. That was what prompted me to initially start working with the organization, and I still believe to this day in the mission. I was fortunate that they helped my mom before she passed away, and they have been extremely instrumental in the community in helping people make sure that they don't die alone. I have many collective memories of Community Hospice working here as an employee of the organization. I can't say that, well, probably one does stand out, and that was certainly at the time when we were building the hospice house and getting close to the end of the campaign, and I had the good fortune to meet the Cohens, who eventually made their wonderful gift to name the hospice house in honor of Mr. Cohen, Leonard Cohen's father, Alexander Cohen. That was certainly an exciting moment that Harold and Peterson and I witnessed. But I also have so many other memories too. I love the fact that the employees had camaraderie between them, and going to staff meetings once a month were always a welcome time. I also remember a very fond memory of Dr. Bob Lefevre helping my mother before she passed away when she was ill at one time, and coming to the hospital to help her. I think Community Hospice is important because it does work with all kinds of people throughout the greater community, not just Modesto, but the county and beyond, to ensure that people have assistance when their family members are passing away, and making sure that they have that loved one with the care they need at the end of life, and they have the support services through the grief support afterwards or during the time that the person's passing away. So they do play a really critical role in the community, and I know they work with the local hospitals and medical providers to ensure that there's that continuum of care that is pretty much seamless in how it's provided. Well, the first change I noticed coming into the building today was the fact that the trees were so mature, because when we first moved to this building, there were no trees. When we moved here in about 2005 or so, Harold Peterson had found the site and was so pleased that we were able to move to this location from 601 McHenry. So definitely not only physical changes have happened to the building, and it still looks as marvelous as it did back in that year, but also the organization has grown, as I've seen over the years, and that's a good sign, growth, that shows that the organization is still succeeding and meeting its mission, and it's in more communities and reaching more people. What would I like to see Community Hospice do in the future? I think that the more it can reach out to people who need that care and reach people that don't have the resources, which I know it does already, but even more so, the more it can do that, I think the better it serves its mission in making sure that everybody gets care. That was the mantra when I was here, that we don't want anybody to be alone or be able to not get care because they can't afford it. So to the extent they can continue to do that, which I know they're doing already, that would just be my hope. It's very exciting to be part of your 40th year anniversary. I still think that the organization is a wonderful one, and it's amazing to think that it's 40 years old. It seems like it's been even longer here in the community, probably because I've had that connection with it. And I wish it all the best and hope that it's going to be around for way longer than 40 more years. I'm Carole Richard, and I support Community Hospice. Happy anniversary.